It's nice to have you join us yet again. This is Enterprise Morning. Reaching you from Enterprise Television. To our conversation for today, the House of Representatives has defended the newly signed Electoral Act of 2026, describing it as imperfect but constitutionally enacted and reflective of the National Assembly's collective will. Lawmakers insisted the amendment followed due parliamentary processes, including the work of a conference committee set up to harmonize differences between the House and Senate version of the bill. However, the law has drawn widespread criticism.
Very true. Now, the African Democratic Congress accused President Bola Tinubu of undermining democratic credibility by signing the amended act and vowed to mobilize Nigerians to safeguard future elections. Civil society organizations also warned that unresolved loopholes in the law could threaten the credibility of the 2027 general elections, criticizing what they call the president's hasty assent. The Middle Belt Forum argued that the amendment has set Nigeria's electoral process back significantly.
All right, so let's get talking. Emeka Madnago is still here. Thank you so very much, Emeka. I know we will keep talking about this Electoral Amendment Act for a very long time as we draw closer to 2027 general elections. Emeka, you have a very strong history of Nigeria, and this is not new. We've seen issues like this. I would love to believe possibly in the First Republic, Second Republic, and now we have issues like this. Emeka, can you take us memory lane for a bit and maybe give us an inside scoop if we have seen issues like this and how it was resolved at the end in the history of Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, in the past, we didn't really have electronic transmission. If you remember that GSM only came to Nigeria in 2001, which is just about 25 years or so. Although before that, as of 1998, then General Sani, head of state General Sani Abacha wanted to license a GSM operator, but his sudden death on June 8, 1998, put pay to that. So, but before that, you had these Turaya communications and all of that. So the issue of electronic transmission was not really an issue at that time. But of course, as time went on, in the last few years, last few elections, the issue of electronic transmission has become very, very important because, there are strong feelings, justifiably that the election results are usually changed, when they go through the process of collation. That process of collation, for polling unit to ward, to local government, to state, that it causes a lot of delay in the announcement of results, and that as a result, you don't really get the real results. For instance, look at the result of Rivers State, presidential election, Rivers State, for 2023. It shows clearly that the Labour Party won the election in Rivers State. But at the end of the collation, we saw result sheets, that were badly mutilated. But these things were not posted on the IREF. What was posted on the IREF was different from what was, presented manually after all the rigmarole of collation. That's why, there has been the argument that, look, saying that, the manual collation should stand side by side with electronic transmission, it doesn't hold water at all, because telecommunications companies, as of 2018, had actually said that yes, that there are 2G coverage. There was 2G coverage across 98% of the country, so that it's easy to reach across the country, even when some lawmakers lied openly that their areas were not covered. Telcos came out to tell them that they were lying. I gave a breakdown of the places covered by 5G, 4G, 3G, and 2G. And so that they had achieved maximum coverage. So that tells you that, of course, the argument that, where there is no network, then you can have a manual transmission. It doesn't hold water. For a country seeking to advance into the, into the second quarter of the 21st century, you must embrace technology. You must embrace scientification. You must embrace those things that, that will make your country stand shoulder to shoulder with the leading giants, with the leading nations of the world. So you cannot, because of elections, now begin to go back to manual collation. Otherwise, okay, why are we now talking about NIN, National Identification Number? Why are we talking about BVN, Bank Verification Number? There are many countries of the world that don't have these things. A country like the United States has a social security number. But of course, you've seen that, it was said that many dead people, where, names of dead people have been seen, in arrangements for payment of certain benefits, So that tells you that the social security numbers are also not foolproof. But at least Nigeria, with the NIN has significantly breached the gap. NIN has significantly helped, in terms of information management. The same thing with the BVN. So why is it so difficult to say, for us to insist on total electronic transmission? Why is this so difficult? President Bola Tinubu was saying that results are collated manually. You see, he was just trying to beg the question. And what is the question? What is the best way for us to transmit results? It is electronically. There is nowhere, because all the money we spend on manual collation only delays the announcement of results. What we are talking about, what many people have been talking about, CSOs, opposition parties say, right from the polling units, the results should be tendered. But what do you have? Like what you had in Edo, there was one result electronically transmitted to the IRF, and there was another result manually, prepared, which gave a different idea. The whole thing has to do with sincerity and maturity. We still have a delinquent political class that just after looting the treasury, that's all. The day becomes nigh difficult for the political class to loot the treasury. Let me tell you, see, all of these things will fall in place. And I hope that very soon we'll achieve that. Because for me, I won't believe in e-voting, not just e-transmission, e-voting, that we should use electronic devices for people to cast their votes. So once you place your thumb, it's automatically registered at the back end somewhere. But anyway, I believe we've made some progress, in terms of acknowledging that yes, electronic transmission should be in the Electoral Act, and that also expecting that it will also be placed in the Constitution, because the fight had actually been that it was not constitutional. That's what the Supreme Court relied on in looking at the petitions, against the declaration of Bola Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential elections. They said that electronic transmission was not in the Constitution, it was not in the Electoral Act. Now it's in the Electoral Act. It's for Nigerians, desirous of, a genuine polls, to continue to push till we remove that manual transmission. Because, sometime last year, some people were actually pushing the idea that PVCs, permanent voter cards, should be discarded.
Yeah.
Now we should go back to manual voting, to manual, manual collation of voters. So that tells you that some people are just, they look at this country as just a pool where they can draw water from anyhow, where they can steal from. They don't care about the country. And you just see, why are people afraid of electronic transmission? Why are they afraid? Thank you.
Wow, that was a long. We needed an explanation, really, so we can, understand how it works. So, Emeka, there's this question. Okay, yeah. So the thing is, there is this. Oh, okay. Does this amendment strengthen or weaken public trust ahead of 2027 elections?
Well, the opposition parties have already raised the alarm that it will weaken confidence in the electoral process, because what it means is that it places the burden of proof on the parties. I mean, if I say, okay, an election was rigged, how do you prove that? Which one takes precedence? Which one takes precedence between the electronic and manual? Which one takes precedence? Which one takes precedence? Because the way it is couched, that's section 60. I think, it's couched in such a way as if, either or, not this, not saying that electronic transmission must be the number one means of, of collating votes. But just saying either electronic transmission or manual transmission. So it still leaves a lacuna. It still leaves loopholes in the believability of election results, and that's a major problem. That's why you see, for instance, in Edo, there was an INEC official, as if Felicia Bozua, who was caught actually, having allegedly, tampered with the result in her area. But what was done? Nothing was done. And the second thing is that we've still not made a definite decision on the prosecution of electoral offenders. So when you see a situation like that where there are mutilated results, what happens? Why have we not seen electoral officers, being prosecuted and jailed? Why have we not seen that? Yes, we saw a situation in Akwa Ibom State where a professor was jailed, but jailed for how many years? Just 2 years. Before he knew what was happening, he was out. So we must realize that, look, no party, no empire lasts forever. PDP was in power. It was treating power as if it was a toy, and it lost out. Now the same people in PDP who were toying with the electoral process are in APC. They are still going to derail APC. Who knows where they are going to move to? But the point is this: where is the interest of Nigeria and the people of Nigeria in all of this? Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Emeka. And this raises, the observation. We've had lawyers here. At least I've had the opportunity of attending NBA, Nigerian Bar Association campaigns and all. And usually when they finish their campaigns and they start elections, it's usually done on a portal. So every registered lawyer in Nigeria, wherever you are, you have a number like your NIN. So you don't need to go queue up on anyone or something. No, just open your app or whatever portal it is on your phone. And once you vote, right, it will tick that you have voted, and your vote will immediately count. Everyone is seeing it. So you don't even have the opportunity of voting twice because it has cancelled that, okay, you have voted, and it has been there. And just before, even the end of the elections within the ranks of NBA, already we all know the winner. The winner knows that they have won. The losers equally know, and they know that they've lost well, and they would have reason to congratulate the winner. Right? So if that could happen in little organizations like the NBA, why can't we have it in Nigeria? This technology has been tested, is trusted. Why can't we have it in Nigeria? But you know why we would not have it in Nigeria? Why? Because there is the intention of those in power who have not governed well to keep being in power against the will of the people. So they use everything possible to go against the people. Yes, because yes, very true.
If only we can have this, it's going to be seamless. No complaint, everything's going to go smooth, and I think it's going to count. Our vote is going to count, and we will know we will know why and what we have voted for. You understand? So I just hope the government just try to look into this easy part of voting for our leaders.
Well, obviously not this government, because this government they are more interested in winning 2027 than governing well and ensuring that people really love them for who they are, not forcing them to love them. Well, that's our time for today. Thank you so very much, Emeka, for your detailed explanation and
thank you very much.
for today.
Thank you.
We truly do appreciate you enough. And people, that's just about the time we have, and we have to call it a wrap for today. Just before we join Kenny for an after party today, it will be hot, isn't it?
You're not that will sponsor me.
Sponsor,
I don't have a sponsor. You that will sponsor me.
You are the one. You are the one celebrating, so you should be the one sponsoring us.
So what do you want?
Well, no matter what it is, though, it will be a wonderful time. It will be an exciting moment. And if you are close to us, maybe you might join the party. Yes, come, let's celebrate Kenya today as she acts one. And that's our time. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprise.tvnews.com. You may equally download what we have just talked about when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I'm Ken the Bodering.
Have yourself a splendid day, and introducing you to the weekend, isn't it?
Yes, thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. And thank God it's our birthday.
Thank you so much. Yeah, yes. God bless Nigeria. God bless you.
Bye-bye.